I'm going to demonstrate this wavy style necklace. What I've done is I've added some peacock pearls to the white pearls and put them in this wave design. Because it took up more pearls waving them like that, I did put a little bit of chain on before I put the clasp on at the back. It doesn't look its best lying down, I do have to say. It looks much nicer when you've got it on the bust. But let's put that to one side and I'll show you how I made it. You see, it does actually look quite nice when it lies properly, and it does hold its shape reasonably well, to be fair. So let's get started. What I've got is I've got some peacock pearls and some white pearls. Now with my, actually I'm going to bring this back in again. With this necklace, the white pearls were larger than the peacock pearls, so we've got 7 of those white ones and 9 of these just to balance it out. And when you come to the bottom, you do need to put less pearls on that inside rim, because it's where it curves. Otherwise they all buckle up and don't sit nicely. So we'll go through that, but that's the way I did this one. This one will be slightly different because the pearls are a little bit different size, but it's just for a demonstration, so I think we'll go with it. I don't think these are particularly the same size. Let's try, I'm going to try doing 5 this time, and just make smaller loops and see what that looks like. We won't make the whole necklace because it's very much repetition, but let's have a look. I think 5 might sit nicely together. They are slightly smaller, but I think we'll have a go and we'll see how it goes. So what I've got is my peacock pearls, my white pearls. I've got some S-lon, but you can use whatever thread you like, silk or whatever. I've got 2 needles already threaded, and I've got some spacer beads. The only tools you need are a pair of flat nose pliers and a little pair of scissors. So let's get started. What I've done here is let's clear the decks a little bit. Let's move that over. Oh, did I say I got 2 size 11 seed beads as well, which you might find intriguing. Let's bring that over where you can see it. So what I've done here is, with my 2 threaded needles, I've gone through from inside to outside of the clamshell, and I've threaded on one of the little 11 seed beads. And the reason I've done that is because this cord that I'm using, the S-lon, the knots aren't big enough and it slips through the hole. So what we're going to do, I'll show you this little trick. So pop a little seed bead on the end, tie an overhand knot. There we go, like that. You see that? We're just going to tie an overhand knot around that little seed bead there. There we go. And I'm just going to double it up and do another one as well. So pop that through there. I've left this a bit short. I don't know why I'm being so mean with the thread, I'm sure. Anyway, that's done, a double knot on top of there. Now I'm going to trim this tail off, not too close because I don't want it coming undone. So I'm going to trim that off there. And now we're going to take our thread. Here's our 2 needles. There we go. There's our 2 needles. And we're going to take our thread. The thread's a bit curly because it's coming to the end of the spool on the S-lon, so it's getting ever so curly. But anyway, we're going to pull that through. Let's even up the thread. I'm going to pull that through that clamshell. Hope you can see that. And because it's got that space bead tied on top of it, it's going to stop and it's going to fit nicely in that little clamshell. So now with the clamshell, you can either close it up with partly with your fingers, or you can take your flat nose pliers and you can just give it a squeeze like that, trying to keep it even like that. Let's pull that down, make it quite neat as we can. Okay, now can you see when you close a clamshell, I always find it leaves that little gap. Yes, you can squeeze with your pliers, but where you've got this nice rounded area that looks like a bead when you've closed it, that gets flattened if you press it too hard. But if you can see at the bottom here, if you get your tweezers, your pliers, and you hold this little bit, it's like a little hinge at the bottom of the clamshell, you just pop that in there. I hope my fingers aren't in the way. Now I'm going to squeeze that. There we go. Can you see how that's closed up? Just by squeezing it at the bottom on that little hinge. I'm going to do the same this side as well. There we go. It's like magic. It works ever so well, that. So let's put those to one side for a little bit and get these needles. So let's have a look what we can do with the pearls. I'm going to sort out the thread. Shouldn't have cut so much thread for a demonstration. I'm going to get all tangled up, but hey ho, we'll do what we can. So we're going to put 5 of these peacock pearls. 1, 2. So that is, if I didn't say, it's a size 10 needle, but it does go through the hole in these pearls really well, so it's not too bad. So that goes fine there. Pull those up to the clamshell like that, and then we take our other needle and one. I hope these aren't too far out in their measurements. So the thing is, they're a different shape, that's the problem. So we've got 3 on there. Let's try with these other 2 and we'll lay them against each other and have a look. This is what you can do if you're obviously not going to be using what I'm using, but because these are just pearls I've collected out of my stash. But let's have a look. If we pull those like that, does that look... I think putting another one on might spoil it. So do you know what? I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave 5 on each side, and then I'm going to tie an overhand knot like that. Let's see. Me get in there so you can see what I'm doing. Right, let's tie this overhand knot, and we're going to pull it tight like that. Oh, actually, that looks really quite nice. Let's put the clamshell back tidy and neat. Okay, so let's put another knot in there. If you don't put these knots in, it doesn't keep its shape where the final necklace. So you do need to put these knots in, and you do need to pull them quite tight so that it does actually keep its shape. There we go. There we go. So there's one. So what we do now is thread a sterling silver spacer bead on. There we go. The other needle. It's much easier. You can do it with one needle by doing one side first and then coming back and doing the other side. But I found it easier to use 2 needles and do it as you go along, and then you can see what's happening. There we go. Let's have a look. There we go. That's a nice finishing touch, isn't it? I'm going to do another overhand knot. So, on the other end of the other side of that spacer bead. There we go. So there we are, we started off, and as you can see, it's really dead simple. So what we're going to do next one is take five of the white on this left hand side, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, needle's come on my threaded. There we go. That would happen, wouldn't it? Just bear with me while I rethread that needle, or else we can't go much further. There we go. There we go, that's threaded up again. So now we're going to take the right hand needle and we're going to do another 5 of the peacock pearls. There we go. Let's move these out of the way. As I go. 1. Oops. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way so that you can see, but not sure that that's helping very much. 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Those up there. There we go. So let's do our overhand knots. As you can see, it's a really simple design. And would you call it a knotted necklace? Possibly. Let's be honest, if it were to break, you're not going to lose all your pearls. So in effect, it probably is. There we go. So as you can see, in fact, now I'm looking at it like this, I actually prefer the smaller loops than these longer ones that is in the original one. But you can do whatever you like. You can do it whichever way you like. At least that gives you two different opportunities. Wouldn't that make a nice pair of earrings, don't you think? Oh, yeah, I think so. Right, just going to do a double knot there. 1, 2. There we go. There we go. Oh, I do like that. I think that's far prettier. I might take that apart and redo it. Who knows? Let's have a look. What I'm doing is I've got spacer bead here. I'm going to try and pop both pieces of thread through there. Let's move up a little bit. There we go. Through there. Come on, you little monkey. There we go. There we go. Right, so you get the gist of that. I don't need to do any more of those. But what I wanted to show you was, obviously, if you do, that would make a lovely bracelet, actually. That would make a really nice bracelet. Might continue and make that into a bracelet, to be fair. And what you would do if you were doing a necklace, you would, let's have a look, show you, 2, 4, 5. Nope, we only need 4. What I'd do is I'd drop one off for the inside. I'd put 5 on the outside here. 2, 4, 5. So I'd carry on with the 5s there. Let's move these out of the way. So let's show you what I mean. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's on your right hand side. Then on your left hand side, you could just put 4 on there, 2, 3, And then when you tie those into a knot, you will find that because you've got less beads on the inside, so move it up so you can see, there we go. You tie your knot there, and obviously this will be longer and that'll go round. This will go round in a larger curve and leave that as a smaller curve for you there. So you carry on in that way, and you continue until you get to the end and you put your other clamshell on, going the opposite way to the original clamshell. So you go from the inside out on, no, let me see, you go from the outside in on this one, but you'll end up then, let me move this over, with your two nice little clamshells at the top, nice and neat, and then I added some chain at the end because I wanted to make it a longer necklace. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that and hope you find it enjoyable to do. Look forward to seeing any pictures if you do continue with it. Thank you.